Wait, turn that down. And then hit mute. If just for one day. Come on, Chewbacca, ready? We're going to review some swans. Chewbacca's a good girl. Yeah, go. You made poopy in the basement. Bad girl. Anyway, so Swan sent me these two pairs of speakers. This is a double review. There's a double impact. In fact, I should move these white ones out of the way so you're not confused by their weird girth. These are the Swan D1080 Mark II. I may have to have a talk with Swan about their... Oh, God. That one was still plugged in. About their naming conventions, because I reviewed the D1090s, which I love. And then there's the D1080s. And now these are the D1080s Mark IIs, which look nothing like the D1090s, yet the D1060s, they all look identical. They all look exactly the same. And why is there always an update for Firefox in this computer? I don't know what it is. Anyway, these ones up in the thing, we're going to talk about the differences and why these are here and those are there when I wanted those to be here, but those couldn't be here. So, and these can't be there. You getting up on my seat? Look like she was going to sit in my seat to take a shit. $299 for the M200 Mark II Wi-Fi edition, and then $190 or $189 even for the D1080 Mark II powered 2.0 bookshelf. So affordable, and $300 still affordable, and one kitty cat very affordable. So I had originally used these, the M200 Mark II. I actually reviewed the M200 Mark III Plus years ago, and so this is another revision in the lower cost bracket. Oh shit! Which I also has the tweeter, which is covered with a metal grill, and then you have another grill that you can see through that you put over it, and it looks fucking sexy. And you know, I have a thing for Swan in my center channel. I should show you that. So these are a 5 1/4 or a 5, like a straight 5. And these, which I already have the grills off, it's the same sort of thing, are a 5 1/4 or 5. I literally don't know. Huge surround on these, small surround on these. This has a soft dome with a big waveguide. This has a titanium driver with metal in front of it. If we look at the back of both of them, the D1080 Mark II, only analog input. You get RCA ins. These are some world's bests that I have here going all the way over to the song cause on the rack. So you get left and right audio in, which means you could reverse where the plug is so that the powered speaker could be on the right or the left, and use reverse to RCAs. You got a speaker out cable, which is theirs. Power on and off here. You got a power plug. You got a big heatsink. This speaker is just a passive slave. Slot load on top, just like the D1090 had, big slot port. And then the controls for this one are here on the side. You get volume, which is only volume. It's just analog volume. You just turn it down, turn it up. It's nice and creamy, smooth. Well, that's part of the song. Holy fuck. When I did it explode. You got a bass and treble knob, which actually perform bass and treble-y functions. And you're going to need to, because these are designed for a desk. And I was hoping, because I was using these upstairs, I'm going to go back to my story. I was using these upstairs in my little sunroom where I currently have, you know, Forte fucking 4s. And I was perfectly satisfied with them up next to my old 40-inch television, just watching TV all day, just these. And I'm like, great, I can't wait to bring these downstairs and put them on a desk and use them in like a close-up desk environment, because that's where I think Swans sound best. They don't work. I was so sad because I literally did it earlier this morning. I came down, I set up I have the little sound rise stands here, the short ones that lift it just enough off that you can use storage underneath. I sit down in my Volvo seat, which everyone should have in their basement. I had the M200s here, and I unmuted them, and I went, ow! Those speakers kill you on a desk. It reminded me of how the M500s did anywhere, except my center channel where they're perfect. So I was so disappointed because I'm like, fuck, I wanted those to be the pick for desk speaker. And then it dawned on me, like, I was going to separate these two reviews, and I was going to do the D1080 Mark II, fuck, I hate these names, on a separate occasion. But then I went, wait, I tried to use these up in my room, and I didn't like them. I didn't like these up next to my TV, where those fucking excelled and projected, and it were fucking holographic, and it was decent low end for a 5-inch, and $300, fuck yeah. And I put these up there cheaper, and it's a manual volume knob, no remote control, only an analog input. And I'm like, all right, put them up there. And I actually was pushing it so hard, and I actually crashed the driver, and I was getting like a rattle, and I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, maybe these are not that good. Move to the basement. Find out that the M200 Mark II Wi-Fi edition is mediocre or painful on a desk. Like literally here, where you could touch it, you died. There's no bass and treble controls in this. The only knob you get is volume. You get a Cat 5 LAN port. It has Wi-Fi, so you can hook this up as a Wi-Fi entity in your house, as a Wi-Fi sound device. You do get 2 auxiliary inputs. You get aux1 and aux2 RCA inputs. You got a fiber optic input. You got a coaxial digital input, which is what I'm using, and I've explained this before. I'll do it again. Any moderately high-end Swan is a DSP speaker, which means the treble and woofer are not running through a standard crossover that is filled with components. There's an amplifier for 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 amplifiers in this. 4 separate amplifiers. And you send in a signal, and what it does is before those amplifiers is the digital signal processor, which takes the frequencies and moves them and changes the timing and everything. So if you feed this a digital signal, it goes in digitally, it's digitally signal processed, and then it goes out analog to the amplifiers and you're done. If you feed this analog, like you have to do with that one, what would have to happen is the analog comes in, gets converted back to digital, and then does all that shit. So why go through that process? My recommendation, feed it digitally. You have a TV, you want to literally use this in a sunroom, like I have. I don't know many people have a fucking sunroom, but if you have a television, you're like, hey, I want a $300 soundbar, Zeos. Fuck you, buy these. Fuck you, buy these. Or the bigger ones, or the M300 Mark IIs, which are like $900, but not available right now. Because this is perfect. You get your fiber optic cable, you plug it to your TV, you set your TV to PCM out, you set it to stereo, you're fucking done. You got a nice metal remote control. Yeah, these connect from one side to the other. The wire is actually relatively long. I mean, that's probably 8 feet. So you can run it down, across, and behind. I wish it was a little bit longer, but port in the back. Your volume control is all you get. Digital input, analog input, LAN port, Wi-Fi, good. This one, much simpler design. Here in the basement, these fucking rule on a desk. Like, I don't care if those are $110 more, this is the one I would pick for the desk every time. I'm so tired of not having anything but Edifier to call for it, because I mean, where has the Swans been? And I know people even put like M300 Swans on their desk, and I'm like, you need to listen to me. You have a problem. M300s are way too big for a desk. And then you get M200s, and those are the M200 Mark IIs. The M200 Mark IIIs were good in a desk, but now the Mark II Wi-Fis are not good in a desk. The Mark II Wi-Fis are good. That's them with no subs. How? The fuck? The fuck? How? That's Gorilla's 5.4p45. I don't know. It's from Laka Come Home. Just. And the further away you get to that like perfect position where these are sitting in your living room somewhere, and it's just louder, louder, louder. Enough to see All the world's a changing. Because I can't change tracks with this. Fuck. That's London Grammar. Hey now. The Army mix? Arty mix. Arty remix. Like, we're gonna get back to you. College speakers, but don't put them on your desk unless you're gonna have them on your desk. Then walk away from your desk and then listen to them. Then they're fucking great. Then it's a Swan review. It's a motherfucking Swan knocked it out of the park review. These are dumb. They're dumb. You can't control the treble. You can't control the bass. You can't touch anything but volume. But all you need to do to make them sound better is turn them up. Just keep turning them up. Turn them up until you die, and then you're good. You're good to go. Having those tweeters, though, on a desk or anywhere near you, instant death. I hated these on a desk. And I didn't have them against a wall or anything, but it doesn't matter because the tweeters itself would not be helped by that. So I'm giving the M200 Mark II Wi-Fi's 10 out of 10 in a room. Sitting down now to the analog manual D1080 Mark IIs. God, there's so many fucking marks. Turn the knob up. This is our sin, but I still believe. Softer, smoother, a little less low end because I've literally turned it fucking down. I'm not near a wall. That's another thing. This is not a great desk. Not many people's desks look like this. They don't have wonderful black Hanikawas behind them, and there's not 4.5 feet to the wall. They're usually against the wall. When you put a speaker against the wall, then the back port shoots out, and then you get low end. I still had to lower the bass on these. In a real desk scenario, these things probably shake the fucking room because they'd just be impacting that. So I've actually turned the bass down a little bit, and then I've just played with the treble because it actually has a bass and treble selection. So you put on... That is a Trevolo sampler from the little fucking Trevolo things, BenQs. That's Flamenco Guitar Bulurious. Bulurious. I don't know. It sounds fucking... Yeah. These are like the safety... And I can't believe these are under $200. So I don't know what I'm more impressed with. I was going to do separate videos, and I'm like, well, I was going to do that one, then I don't like where they were, so I put them up. I'm like, all right, let's see how these are. Fuck it, combine the videos. This is a twofer. If you have a desk and you have $200, the only condition is you have to feed this signal. Now, I'm feeding it from like a $400 and something DAC, but any DAC will do. I will link several. Zeos, future Zeos, you piece of shit. I know what you're doing. Put your pants on. Could you link in the description, Honey Bear, a couple relatively inexpensive DACs? Because these have RCA in. You could just get an RCA to 3.5mm, plug it into your laptop, plug it into your computer's onboard zone, and that'll work fine. It'll work fine. You want to do better than that. You're better people than that. So a couple of the cheaper sub $100 DACs, because this is only $190. That's fucking good. For what is... For the sound that comes out of it. Right. That's too loud, but it's not like, oh no, you broke it and it's painful. Those are broken and painful on a desk. These in a room are too soft, and I kept turning them up, and then it's like, perfect on a desk, perfect in a room. Swan, that's it. Swan. This is why Swan is consistently my favorite fucking company. I just wish I wish those worked in both, and they don't. Those are legitimately, whatever that tweeter is designed for long distance. And then the bass is just absurd. And these with the soft dome and the covers, which, again, got the Swan logo. I gotta clean that off. It's so dirty. Put this in here and just be like, hold on, everybody. I'm just gonna, just nice and subtle. I could go without the shiny black plastic, but You know, this is America. You could do what you want, apparently. It actually says it comes in rosewood. I don't think this is rosewood. This is just, it's not black though, is it? I don't know. It's a dark, they're very deep too. I just want to point the depth out. And they work so well on these SoundRise stands. They just lift and forward. And those have an angle back. These speaker stands were specifically designed in my old apartment to put the speakers at the height that was 5/8 up my projection screen height. For those of you who haven't seen, there's going to be a video coming out. I now have a 150-inch projection screen. And behind it, which we can sneak around, scoozy. Here's where the big fuck you daddy swans are. Hi. These are the M500s that I said are no good as speakers. But my word, 2 of them shooting through an acoustically transparent screen, they outshine the heresies easily. So that's where Swan lives in my house. The most important speaker is always the center. Might as well put the fucking most impressive... See, I wouldn't even call it the most impressive. The most impressive is still the M300 Mark IIs. Mark IIs, yes. Those are just the most oppressive murder cannons. And here, it's like they've designed a speaker for every specific area. I just have to figure out what it is. They don't tell you. So Zeos, hi, I'm Zeos. D1080 Mark IIs, desktop. Only desktop. I tried putting them further back. Don't do it. Don't even try to play music. You get up and walk away. Right. That sounds but that's what doesn't sound They're the same. What blows my mind is, this is a bigger box. This is a smaller box. They have the same size driver, only this one actually has more surround, like the actual part around the speaker that would allow it to move is bigger on this one. Yet this one with the smaller, tighter surround can produce so much more low end. And then the tweeter, at least this makes sense, where this is a like titanium tweeter, and that's a soft dome, and it's just like that. There's no losers on this today's Z review. How you doing, everybody? You even get that wallpaper. Aren't you fucking lucky? Link in the description. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to college, you're like, I need speakers for my desk, Zeos. D1080 Mark IIs. But Zeos, I'm going to college, Zeos. Goddamn batteries. Yeah, college and room here, this. College and frat, and like you gotta have a little bit more going on, then you just pick up those. They're soy good. And my only problem is you can't get these for a desk. If you get them for a desk, you're gonna be unenjoyable. That tweeter is murder. You can't adjust it. If you get these for your desk and try to move them to a room, they're a little bit lackluster. So you have to specifically get Mupe. You have to specifically Chewbacca get these for a small to medium to fucking large room. This is if you count my basement as a large room, which it is, you can fill a good portion of it with these little $300 speakers. And then if you're going to sit down and actually do, like, just sit down and you want to hear shit, D1080s, you put them up. They're a much more intimate sound. Yeah, no, the imaging is just fucking perfect. The tonality of this is a little bit softer, much better for up close and personal. I was thinking that one of these speakers I thought I would love the M200s in both places. Then it turns out that's not the case. And I thought I would give the D1080 as like an because I heard them upstairs in the room and it didn't really click with me, but perfect here. So that's it. Sound demo, I'm gonna combine them both into the same sound demo as well. Don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I'll probably do like 5 songs on that and then 5 songs on this, and they'll be the same songs, or maybe they won't be the same songs. I'll put the headphone rig here for the desk, and I'll put the mics up like normal for those, because they're astonishingly good in a room for $300. And these are astonishingly good in a desk for under $200. And this cat is astonishingly cute for a 16-year-old lady. Look at this little old lady. Oh, you little old lady. She wants you to join my Patreon or Subscribe Star for $5 a month to see reviews early, participate in yard sales, and have access to the uncompressed sound demos that are made. You have access to all the sound demos that were removed, but you also get access to all their stripped audio and uploaded, converted to FLAC, so they're not lossy any more than they're already lossy. It's a whole thing. I should put an explanation blurb when I post it. So that's what you get for $5. You also get access to the entire wallpaper repository, which every wallpaper I've ever used is there for just ease of getting to. And then for $10 a month, you get into the behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat, where when I'm filming these reviews, or even like just when I unbox the things, they know what I've got. They can ask me any questions they'd like. A lot of friend groups have started in there, local meets, although don't spit in each other's mouths, please. There's a swap meet that's associated with it, specifically for the $10 patrons. If you want to sell something, you have access to that for life. The $10 chat does get refreshed every 3 months. So if you're not still a current patron, you will be booted out. But if you're a current patron, you get to stay and talk as long as you want, and you never get booted out of the swap meet. And Hi-Fi Guides, and the Hi-Fi Guides forum is a great place to go and just start a conversation. About what? I don't know, DSP correcting vinyl. I'm looking into something like that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I can't wait for the hate. Bring me the hate, Chewbacca. Baka, bring me the hate. I don't know, where she went. Anyway, get off my chair, lazy ass. Stand up. Be proud of your Schwann. My Schwann heritage. I didn't even look at like a much simpler design on the side. Wood is just flat. There's no grooves. This is usually like the cheaper Swan look. This is obviously the cheapest Swan look, which is just box. And then this is the nicer Swan look with remote. Oh, the remote, by the way. For those, volume bottom. Then you have power, mute, aux 1, aux 2, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, optical coax till the end. And unmute. And I will see you all either in the yard sale. I will see you all in the yard sale or in 2 days in this channel. If I put them both up. Perfect.